everyone. A very warm welcome to today's topic that is managing children's anger, frustration, and irritation towards parents. So today, me and my colleague will be presenting this topic. Shrishti is here with me. Shrishti, would you like to say something?
Yeah, okay. Hi. So we'll just start talking about why managing anger and frustration in children is very important on a larger scale, and specifically when how is it important to manage that frustration and anger when it is channelized towards the parents, right? So in recent times, in the past 2 years, when we specifically talk about the pandemic, what usually is happening is that since the both of the parents and the children are staying together, there is a lot of miscommunication which is happening, and this is why that is also being one of the main reasons of why there is so much frustration and irritation and anger is there between in both the parents and the children here, right? So today we're majorly going to work upon this thing. We're going to talk about how do we manage in terms of what shall we do and what shall we not do in terms of managing that anger. So yeah, over to you, Verena. You're on mute.
So sorry. Yes, so thank you, Shrishti, for that insight. And as you move to the next slide, you'll see that before we start talking from a very psychological perspective, that what is it that causes the anger, the frustration, irritation in children, what we can do as parents, we would just like to ask you, what do you think? Because you've joined today, I'm sure that this is something that you're struggling with. There's some support that you would like in this area. So would you like just mind quickly sharing some of the responses, some of the things that has been happening, that has been very alive for you in the last 1 year, 1.5 year, or even today morning? Like, is there some incident that happened that has put you that has made you wary of how your children are behaving, and that's why you would like some support?
Yeah, so you can probably put down a few causes that you think that are causing the anger in the parents, in the children, which is directly or indirectly affecting you.
Anything that you're struggling with, जो भी आपको लग रहा है कि अभी इस टाइम पे आपको बच्चों के साथ कोविड स्पेशली पैंडेमिक में लॉकडाउन के बाद कहीं किसी एरियाज में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, किसी चीज में आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा कि बच्चे क्यों इतना गुस्सा कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए क्यों इतना फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग हो रहा है घर में रहना.
Okay, so somebody has just messaged me saying that children are demanding too much attention these days. Yeah, I think this is one very, very big factor that since all of us are being occupied with work from home and everybody is just doing work from home. So that's also one of the reasons why the children are probably not getting the adequate time from the parents. This is why it is causing frustration in the children, right?
Anybody else who would like to share? So the thing is, what happens is, like, we of course can provide you with a lot of psychological tools, and today we have brought in a lot of practical tips that you can take back and that can actually help you. You can apply some of that and do a trial and error method, see which one works for you and for your child as well. But it's very important to sort of, whatever we are sharing here, like, sort of apply back to yourself. What is it that I am struggling in? This is the exact problem that I have, and like whatever is being shared, can I take back like some piece of that information and then put back into my situation? So keeping that in mind, what we are trying to say is that before we talk about what causes the child to get angry, what causes the child to behave in ways that they do behave, we would like to share certain things that you as parent can do, starting with like your own self work, and that can go a long way in not just like managing your child's anger or frustration, but their entire emotional aspect, and it will do you very good also, like in keeping all your relationships maintained, not just with the one with your child. So we understand that often this is a question that comes up a lot in terms of parenting, that why is it so difficult for us to control our anger with our kids? And there are many reasons for that, but main one is because a lot of times we also allow ourselves to get angry. We allow ourselves to lose control when the child is acting in certain ways. And when we start reacting emotionally to our kids, when we lose that control, we are also letting the kid determine how we behave rather than the other way around. Rather than we choosing like that the child should behave in a certain way, now the kid is determining our behavior, that if the kid behaves in a certain way, this is the outcome that they get from us. We get angry. And too often parents react in these situations without thinking. We believe that we need to get our kids under control immediately rather than just taking a moment to think like, wait, let me first get myself under control first before I start responding to my child. And the best way to do that are these some of the tips that have been mentioned here right on the screen. First one is to, when you get yourself under control, your kids will also be able to calm down. They usually calm down because they model your behavior. And calm is very contagious, like any other, like anger is contagious. One person starts getting angry, the other person also might start yelling. Calm is also very contagious. If you are calm, your child will model your behavior. And think of it this way also, that if you can't get yourself calm, if you can't get yourself in control, then it's very hard to expect like a 2 year or a 5 year old child to do that for themselves. And to give you an example of this thing, that let's say you're teaching your child to ride a bike, and your child is just not getting it. Your child is maybe being very cranky, very, talking back to you, not interested. And there's a combination of emotions that you're feeling, that you're annoyed, you're angry, you feel responsible to teach the child to ride their bike, but the child is just not cooperating. So what do? Then you start yelling at your child is again struggling even more now, and it just gets worse because the child is not being able to do a task that is expected out of them, and now they are getting anxious also, that my parent is yelling at me about it. So then the result is, of course, ultimately it's failure. It doesn't happen. So instead of this snapping, just ask yourself that how do I stay calm? What is more helpful for the child in this moment? What does the child need me to be? And can I then find ways to be calm in this situation? And you can do this by making a commitment to yourself, making a commitment to stay calm, like making a commitment to stay in control. Notice things that set you off. And you don't have to do that like when the incident is happening, when the child is throwing a tantrum, but before that, like when you're not doing anything, when you're not in that situation itself, just think of the things that make you angry. Is it when your child is back talking to you, or is it when your child is ignoring something that you're asking the child to do? And it's of course not easy to stay in control always. We don't stay in control, nobody does. And it's absolutely okay to get angry, it's absolutely okay to get frustrated. Parenting is hard, and there's too much pressure to be the perfect parent. And we are here to kind of tell you that you just need to be a good enough parent. Perfect parenting is a myth. So give yourself a moment to do whatever it is that you need to do to get calmer. And then if you need to walk out of the room, if you need to remove yourself from that incident for a while, do that. Then, and be very ready that today was a good day. Probably you managed things in a very good way. Maybe tomorrow won't be the same. Tomorrow your child will push your buttons because you have so many years with the child, and at some point or the other, like, the child is going to get angry, the child is not going to listen to you. So expect that. If you expect that you'll have this perfect relationship with the child where the child is completely well behaved, the child is doing everything that you're asking the child to do, that's not really possible. That's not how it works. So have that expectation setting with yourself that they're probably not going to listen to you at certain times. They're probably not going to comply to whatever it is that you're saying. And the best solution to this, like, it's as simple as that, like just having that acceptance that my child is going to be difficult. If not right now, then maybe in some time when the teenage rebellion hits, that time definitely. And know that what are some of the things that you are responsible for, and what are some of the things that the child in themselves are responsible for. As parents, and especially like as Indian parents, there's this we notice quite often that there's this thing to micromanage every movement of the child. So no, create those boundaries. You cannot micromanage everything. You want the child to be independent for themselves. You want the child to grow up to be an independent adult. If you micromanage everything for them right now, as they keep growing up, they might be very, very dependent on you. They might miss out on some important life skills like decision making, how to be an adult, how to mature as an adult. So things like that. So just know what your boundaries are. Of course, a lot of things you're there to guide your child with, but you're not responsible for solving all their problems for that. And communicate this to the child very clearly, that I'm responsible for helping you figure out how to solve this problem, or how to maybe ride a bike, or how to like meet your needs when you need them, but I'm not responsible for solving everything for you. I can't like just give everything to you on the platter. Like maybe change the language there. Also, another thing that as parents we often tend to do is that we worry a lot about our child's future. We fast forward to their future and we keep wondering if our how our kids will be for the rest of their lives, what kind of personality will they develop, what kind of adults will they be. And sometimes we also project our own feelings, our own dreams, our own emotions on them, that we want them to be certain things that we could not be probably. And we wonder how will they make it in the real world if they don't do all this homework that we are imposing on them. And the more we think about the future, like the more our anxiety goes up. In our head, we start worrying that we are not doing a good enough job as parents. And we worry that we don't know how to get them in control. So these things, there's a very proper term for this, that's cognitive distortion. And basically it's nothing but um, thinking errors. Thinking errors are thoughts that we have in our head that don't match our reality. That's very negative, that's very self-defeating. And one of these thinking errors is to naturally, just this natural tendency to assume that the possible outcome of any situation, that if I do something like this is the outcome of it. But we don't know. In reality, like things are not turning out as bad as we imagined them to be. It's just our brain that's doing this job of constantly scaring us. So just know that, we future, when we reach there, we'll think about it, but there's no point worrying about it twice. You're worrying right now. When you reach the future, you'll have to again worry. And the last thing that is going to be very, very helpful is prepare for your anxiety. You know that as parenting, of course, it's a difficult job, and it's one that we are committed to. So we know that it's going to get some triggers. It's going to be triggering for us in some ways or the other. Maybe when the child is not doing certain things, when the child is getting angry, when the child is maybe if there's a complaint that's come from school, in those situations, it is going to affect us. So prepare for your anxiety. Notice what is it that happens in your body. Notice what are the triggers when the child is getting angry, when you're getting a complaint back from someone. How are you feeling? And you will be able to notice this, like when you get angry, sometimes people they clench their hands into a fist. Sometimes they grind their teeth. Sometimes they start sweating, or they feel like they hear a grinding noise in their stomach. So notice all these things in your body, in your thoughts, that what is happening when you're feeling anxious, when there's something related to your child that's happening, and it just shoots up your anxiety level. What are the triggers for you? And ask yourself that, how am I going to handle this when I know that my child is screaming at me? Or what do I do when my child is asking for a toy that I'm not supposed to give to them, that I'm supposed to say no to? So prepare yourself for those conflicts. And some of the things that again you can do to prepare for your anxiety is that you could use positive self-talk. You can just talk to yourself and say that I'm not going to react to my child's behavior, or I'm going to step back. I'm going to take a deep breath. You could also take some deep breaths, and breathing is something that's associated with calming yourself for a long, long time now. So take a few deep breaths whenever you feel that things are escalating, instead of just letting thoughts, letting words flow out of your mouth. Just step back and take a few deep breaths and then come back to the situation. And again, another thing that you could do is visualize a positive relationship with your child. That picture what your ideal relationship should be with the child. And you're not going to get the answer to this on Google, or if you ask anybody else. Only you would know that what kind of a relationship you want to have with your child. What kind of how would you define your relationship that you have with the child, and what is it that you want from it? So you can visualize that. Only when you start working on some of these pointers that we've mentioned here through this self work, you'll be able to then take care of your child in a better way. And as we go to the next slide, we also, now that we've discussed as parents what are some of the things that we need to put in, we can now transition to looking into what is it that causes the child to actually get angry. What's happening? Why does the child feel so angry at this age, or they feel this irritability in them, or why is there so much aggression in the child? So in this next slide, you will see that there are some causes that have been mentioned here. There are multiple factors that can contribute to a particular child's struggle with frustration, with anger, even with aggression. And by aggression, I mean here that sometimes there are behaviors that we notice in the child that can cause harm to themselves or to the other people around them. Like when we get complaints from school sometimes that your child has hit somebody else, or has bitten somebody, something like that. That those are behaviors of aggression. And one common trigger is frustration. Of frustration is when a child does not get what they're asking for. If the child is asking for, say, a toy, and the child is, and you're in a store and you don't want to buy that toy for the child, so you will see that there's a temper tantrum immediately, that the child starts crying, or they lie down on the floor and they'll start throwing a fit. So for children, anger issues often might come from unmet demands. Sometimes it does happen also that, I'm so sorry, it does happen also that these are accompanied with other mental health conditions. That's a very, very small percentage, of course. But if it's being escalated, if there's too much aggression and all, it could be related to ADHD, autism, and things like that. There are other causes also. There's genetics that's involved. There are biological factors that are involved that play a huge role in anger, in frustration. Environment also is a huge contributor. If there are some incidents that are happening in the family, or if the child sees that behavior, that everybody in the family yells at each other, or they're talking in loud voices, then the child might mimic that behavior also. Child will start exhibiting that anger, that aggression, and that might start interfering with their daily life. So these are just some of the examples that can cause the child to get angry. And when they're feeling angry, if you don't acknowledge that they're feeling angry, or if you just tell them that please shut down this temper tantrum that you're throwing, or that you're not supposed to cry right now, or that you're not supposed to show your anger, then it causes them to get even more angry. You know how there's a joke around this thing that because my parent was asking me to not cry anymore, I felt like crying even more. Whenever somebody's asking you to not cry or to relax, that never helps. And sometimes we get busy with our work. There's not enough attention that we are paying to the child. A lot of times the child does a lot of things just to get your attention. If the child is not I'm so sorry, I'm just seeing a request for speaking in Hindi. So कई बार आपके बच्चे अगर आप उनको अटेंशन नहीं दे रहे हो, आप काम में बिजी हो, आप किसी और चीज में बिजी हो, तो उनको चाहिए कि आप बस मेरे तरफ देख लो। आप मेरी मम्मी या मेरे पापा बस मेरे तरफ थोड़ा सा ध्यान दे, मेरे साथ थोड़ी देर खेल ले। और अगर वो नहीं हो रहा है, अगर वो बच्चा आपको बोल रहे हैं खेलने के लिए और आप नहीं उनके साथ खेल रहे हो, तो वो फिर कुछ कुछ ऐसी हरकतें करने लग जाएंगे जिनको उनको पता है कि वो हरकतें करने से आप अपना काम छोड़ के उनके तरफ आ जाओगे। आप उनसे उनसे उनके साथ बात करोगे या कुछ भी करोगे। तो एज अ चाइल्ड, लाइक छोटे में बच्चों को बहुत ज्यादा अटेंशन की जरूरत होती है। वो अटैचमेंट स्टेज है जहाँ पे उनका अटैचमेंट फॉर्म हो रहा है। 6 years के एज तक उनका ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट हो रहा होता है, और भी काफी उनकी अभी ग्राउंड वर्क ले हो रहा है उनकी पर्सनैलिटी के लिए, जो अडल्ट बाद में वो अडल्ट होके बनेंगे। तो अभी का टाइम बहुत ज्यादा सेंसिटिव है। सो ये सब चीजें बहुत मायने रखती है, और आप कैसे मीट कर रहे हो उनके एंगर को, उनके इमोशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स को, वो ह्यूज डिफरेंस बनाते हैं अभी। तो अब हम
I would also just add on to this one thing. So when we were asking people to write a few things here, that what do they think are the causes? तो जैसे कि अभी यहाँ पे ये हम देख रहे हैं कि people have written nowadays students are getting adamant because of pandemic there is no time management, or somebody has written that children are using too much mobile phone, so that's also causing anger because their demands are increasing day by day. And the third thing somebody has written is there is nothing else to do for children in the whole day, and this is why there is too much interaction between the parents and the children. So again, if we see कि जो भी चीजें हमारे chat box में भी आई गई हैं, all of these things can be covered under these three main causes that we have identified. कि या तो हमारे बच्चे की demands पूरी नहीं हो रही हैं, या they are constantly asking for something जो हम उन्हें नहीं देना चाहते, वो legit demand है या illegitimate demand है, या फिर बच्चों को बहुत ज्यादा अटेंशन चाहिए आपसे कि आपका काम हैम्पर हो रहा है उस वजह से, और ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी कि हम बच्चों को बहुत ज्यादा अटेंशन दे रहे हैं, द चाइल्ड इज फीलिंग दैट यू आर कॉन्स्टेंटली नैगिंग हिम, कि आप उनको बहुत ज्यादा हेलीकॉप्टर कर रहे हैं, या आप उनसे बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि अच्छा तुमको ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, बहुत ज्यादा आप इंस्ट्रक्टिव हो रहे हैं. सो अगेन ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स combine together as different causes of anger, right? And it is not that only one of these things are going to make the child angry, right? So you just have to make sure that probably एक दिन में इन 3 हिसाब से बच्चे को गुस्सा आ सकता है, या इन 3 हिसाब से बच्चा इरिटेट हो सकता है या फ्रस्ट्रेट हो सकता है, right? So it's just very important to figure out what triggers are in that particular condition situation. So Garima is going to take us through that particular area.
थैंक यू सृष्टि. सो हम अब काफी सारे इंटरवेंशंस पे बात करेंगे. कुछ एक टेक अवेज जो आप ट्राई कर सकते हो अपने बच्चों के साथ. तो फर्स्ट वाला ये एबीसी मॉडल है, और कब आपने कई बार यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड ऑफ इट आल्सो, बट व्हाट एबीसी जनरली इज, एबीसी स्टैंड्स फॉर एंटीसीडेंट, बिहेवियर और कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. सो ये बहुत यूजफुल तरीका है देखने का कि आपके बच्चे क्यों बिहेव कर रहे हैं एक सर्टेन वे में. एंड ये जनरल ये नहीं है कि अच्छा बच्चे गुस्सा हो रहे हैं तो यही एक रीजन है. वो बहुत जेनेरिक रीजन कभी भी अप्लाई हर किसी को नहीं हो सकता. तो ये आप खुद पे अप्लाई करके देख सकते हो कि मेरे बच्चे का सर्टेन बिहेवियर के पीछे रीजन क्या है. And it is optimistic. If a behavior has been learned, it can be unlearned also. कोई भी behavior जो आपने सीखा है उसको दोबारा आप कुछ चेंज भी कर सकते हो. तो एंटीसीडेंट ए में क्या होता है कि बिहेवियर से पहले क्या हुआ, what happened immediately before the behavior, or what were the events that led to the behavior. मेरा बच्चा अभी अगर रो रहा है या फिर वो टेम्पर टैंट्रम थ्रो कर रहा है तो क्यों ये स्टार्ट हुआ. ऑफन टाइम्स व्हाट वी डू इज वी जस्ट फोकस ऑन कि बच्चा अभी रो रहा है और दैट बच्चा अभी गुस्सा कर रहा है. आवर फोकस इज मेनली ऑन दैट बिहेवियर. वी आर नॉट रियलाइजिंग कि उसके पहले भी एक चीज है, उसके बाद में भी एक चीज है. सो इफ वी स्टार्ट नोटिसिंग कि एंटीसीडेंट्स क्या है, सेटिंग क्या थी, कुछ ऐसे एनवायरनमेंट में था क्या जो किसी चीज ने मे बी बच्चे को ट्रिगर किया हो, या क्या हमेशा ही मे बी दोपहर के टाइम पे बच्चा थोड़ा सा गुस्सा होने लग जाता है या रोने लग जाता है. एंड देन बिहेवियर पे आते हैं. फिर बिहेवियर एग्जैक्टली क्या था, जो भी हुआ एंटीसीडेंट, जो भी हमारा पहले का प्रोवोकेशन था, उसके बाद बिहेवियर एग्जैक्टली क्या था. क्या बच्चे ने बस रोना स्टार्ट कर दिया, या गुस्से में कुछ बोला पेरेंट से, या फिर जमीन पे लेट गया, कुछ डिमांड करने लग गया. व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द बिहेवियर. एंड देन कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, दैट आफ्टर दिस बिहेवियर व्हाट हैपेंड एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस बिहेवियर. हाउ वाज द प्रॉब्लम डेल्ट विद. आपने क्या किया जब बच्चा ऐसे बिहेव कर रहा था, आपने उसको क्या किया, या तो थप्पड़ मार दिया, या फिर प्यार से बात करी, या फिर उसको समझाया, या फिर बोला कि नहीं बस चुप करके बैठ जाओ, अभी अभी ये सब नहीं हो सकता. एग्जैक्टली आपने क्या बोला. सो ये याद रखने की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है कि जो भी हम कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस होते हैं, बिहेवियर ज्यादातर प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, बट उस बिहेवियर को हम कैसे डील कर रहे हैं उसके साथ, वो या तो रीइंफोर्स करता है बिहेवियर को या खत्म करता है. कई बार आप देखोगे कि अगर आपने बच्चे पे मे बी उनको डांट दिया जोर से, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम बच्चा ज्यादा आपको दोबारा कुछ बोलेगा नहीं, या गुस्सा नहीं करेगा, या बैक टॉकिंग नहीं करेगा. बट कई बार ये भी होता है कि आपने अगर बहुत ज्यादा डांट दिया हो तो बच्चा नेक्स्ट टाइम से और ज्यादा करने लग जाता है. तो ये नोटिस करना, इसीलिए ये चार्ट हेल्प करता है नोटिस करने के लिए कि आपके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, आप जैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हो उनके बिहेवियर को, वो कैसे अफेक्ट हो रहे हैं, कैसे उनके बिहेवियर में चेंजेस ला रहे हैं. और ये अगर आप एक बार नोटिस करने लग जाओ, एक बार नोट डाउन करने लग जाओ, तो आपको बहुत इजीली आप प्रॉब्लम बिहेवियर्स को चेंज भी कर सकते हो. एक सिंपल एग्जांपल अगर देना है तो अगर स्कूल में आपका बच्चा काफी ज्यादा दूसरे बच्चों को मे बी धक्का देता है, तो अब आपको पता है कि आपको नई स्किल जो आपके बच्चे में डालनी है वो कि आपको आपके बच्चों को सिखाना है कि वो लोगों के साथ कैसे खेल सके. maybe starting with like the child playing with just one kid, and then playing with 2 3 kids, and then playing with like maybe a group of kids, and teaching the child that usko दूसरों को धक्का नहीं देना है. So this is we just need to remember here that whatever strategies we use to manage inappropriate behavior, we need to be very consistent. एक बार में changes नहीं आएंगे behavior में. आप कुछ भी अभी now Shrishti is going to take over, and she's going to take over like some more and go through some more interventions. It's very important to see कि एक बार try किया और immediate changes नहीं होने वाले. You need to keep up with it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to notice some changes.
Right.
What do you, Shrishti?
Yeah. So again, one very important thing about this ABC analysis is that how are we, as Garima mentioned, how are we providing the consequences to the child? Okay. What majorly we as parents focus upon is the behavior part of it, in which we are just focusing upon how the child reacted in that particular situation. Okay. But equally important part here is what is the consequence and what led to that particular situation, right? So once you can control the antecedent, once the cause of that behavior is in your hand, if at all, then you will be able to control the behavior as well, right? So to work upon that behavior, you really need to identify what are the causes of those behaviors. That is one very important thing. As parents, we need to understand कि हम वो causes identify करें पहले. ठीक है. जब एक बारी कॉजेज आइडेंटिफाई हो जाते हैं, उस टाइम पे हमको ये पता होता है कि अगर बच्चे का ये बिहेवियर है तो उसकी बिहेवियर को हमको चेंज कैसे करना है, किस कॉन्सिक्वेंस के साथ, right? And once you start noticing these things, a lot of times consequences जब होते हैं उस टाइम पे स्टार्टिंग में आपका एक बहुत रैपिड रिस्पॉन्स होता है उस चीज का. लाइक यू रिएक्ट टू सच सिचुएशंस विद इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ एंगर, और प्रोबेबली एंगर डबल द साइज ऑफ व्हाट द चाइल्ड वाज डिस्प्लेइंग एट द फर्स्ट प्लेस, right? So instead of displaying that as a consequence, or instead of scolding the child again in that particular situation, if we start rationalizing those things every time, we will be able to hold ourselves in a better position, so that we are not displaying the same kind of behaviors that my children is also showing, right? So here is a very important need of working on those consequences, which we are going to discuss in the further slides कि हम उन consequences को किस तरीके से change कर सकते हैं. So these are the 4 main key areas that we think that we really need to focus upon while we are managing our children. Okay, so the first one is the validation of emotions. The second one is the giving them timeouts. The third one is helping them understanding what's an appropriate behavior. And the fourth one is giving them space to practice. Now I'm going to come to each one of it, and I'm sure you must have heard parts and bits of it somewhere from if you're taking any therapy, or probably you are reading a articles online somewhere here and there. तो आपने कहीं ना कहीं पे ये वाले terms कुछ ना कुछ करके सुने होंगे. But what the catch here is that it is easier said than done, right? आप जब इन चीजों के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, आपको लगता है कि हाँ ठीक है, probably we should be able to apply, or we can start doing that. But then when actually that situation is coming in where you need to apply those things, it becomes difficult because you are yourself is not able to hold your reactions at that time. Okay, so the first thing that we really need to work upon is the control and reaction. Here we're going to talk about a small thing, what is reaction and what is a response. Okay, so reactions are basically done on an impulse, and responses are a thoughtful process or a reply. ठीक है. So first of all, we really need to identify कि हम किस तरीके से उन situations में बच्चे को react कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. If my child is angry and I'm going to probably if the child is hitting me, I'm going to hit the child back. That is a reaction to it. But if my child is hitting me in the first situation, I should be able to hold myself, take a time out, and then respond in that situation. That would make more sense, so that the same behavior is not being modeled by the child, right? So for him, it's going to be a give and take, because I did it, so you also did it, so I'm going to do it again, so that you also do it again, right? So here we will have to focus upon that responses are always better than reaction, because it's a calculated thing. It's not something that's going to come from inside. क्योंकि reactions हमेशा उल्टे पड़ते हैं. That is the first instinct that comes to your mind. And probably a lot of times जब बच्चा गिरता है, राइट, तो हमारा हमारा उसका फर्स्ट रिएक्शन ये होता है कि वो अच्छा तुम्हें चोट लगी, चलो आप फ्लोर की पिट्टी करते हैं या फ्लोर को मारते हैं. Now instead of telling these things to the children, that is the first impulse response that you are having. Instead of doing that, probably we can say that okay, you stop crying, let's go and check if the floor is also being hit or not. Floor को तो चोट नहीं लगी है. So this is how the responses become a little different, because you're giving a little space to yourself also and to the child also to think about what's been happening or what is the child feeling and how does he have to respond in that situation. Okay. So always when the child is displaying that behavior, the first consequence should be your response, not your reaction. That is one very important thing that you have to work upon. Then coming upon to validating emotions, as Garima was mentioning the other in the other slide, where a lot of times we don't validate their emotions. If the child's emotional needs are not being met, maybe there is a possibility the child is going to ask for your more attention in different ways, right? So a lot of times, how can we validate our emotions when the child is when the child is displaying a behavior which is a little dangerous or a little sadistic or anything strange, right? So at that particular time, what validation means is that you have to make the child understand that you understand what is the situation. You are not agreeing with that behavior. Okay. So if I'm going to say that I'm angry, probably I will not agree with your anger, but I can understand why you are angry. And that is the key to it, that you need to tell your children that, okay, I understand. I understand that might create a little anger in you, right? But that's not how you respond to it. Like for example, if there are two siblings which are fighting, दो भाइयों में लड़ाई हो रही है, तो एक ने पहले वाले ने मारा and दूसरे वाले ने उसको वापस से मारा, right? So instead of asking them to fight, or instead of probably giving them situations or like that, what you can do is that you can validate the second one's emotion of hitting back by saying that I understand that you're angry because he hit you, but that's not how you respond. You will come and go to a adult person who is going to handle the situation, right? So here you are not agreeing with the behavior that he did, but at least you are telling him that it's okay, I understand that that is your emotion, but what the consequence can be different as well. Okay. So that's how you start validating their emotions. And again, why is it important is so that the child will start feeling that at least मेरे सामने वाले ने देखा तो सही, मेरे emotion को at least acknowledge तो करा गया. Because a lot of time when it's going unnoticed, and a lot of times when it is, the child feels that my emotions are not being met or they're not being attended by my parents, they will do anything in the world to grab that attention of yours, which might turn out to be more negative than the actual behaviors in the beginning. All right. So the next one. Okay, timeout. So timeout is this one thing I'm pretty sure a lot of people must have heard by themselves. What does timeout mean? So timeout basically allows the parent and the child to cool down. Okay. Now, as important it is for the parent, for the child to have that timeout, it is even more important for the parent to have the child timeout, so that the parent is not reacting in that particular situation, the parent is responding. Okay. So the first thing that you will have to take care of is that you have to set the rules beforehand. You will, yeah. So you will have to set the rules beforehand. If particularly if you are displaying this behavior, you are going to get a timeout in which you are not supposed to talk to anybody and nobody is going to interact with you. All right. And again, the next step is that you have to make them understand why is it important. So now if I talk a little technically about it, timeouts are basically situations which are going to give negative reinforcements to children to stop doing a behavior. Okay. So negative reinforcements are not punishments. Negative reinforcements are that I'm taking one privilege from the child back because he has done an inappropriate behavior. Okay. So, and if we put it out as an example out there, like if I give my child 10 points in the whole day and I tell him that every time you're going to display a behavior which is not appropriate, I'm going to take 1 point away from you. It is going to create more impact than telling him that, okay, I'm going to stop giving you the points altogether if you're going to behave it that way. Because if the child is not receiving something at the first place, he might not understand the value of it. But if I'm going to take something away from him, he might understand the value because he's already had it with him before. Okay, so that's about negative reinforcements, and that's how it is working. So coming back to what I was talking about, the timeout here, you will have to give out the timeout to the child and tell them that you are going to lose out on your privilege of talking to anybody in the house because you have committed or because you have displayed an inappropriate behavior here. Okay, now it is very important, for whatever rules you have been making, you have to follow those rules with the child. And if the child is not following the timeout, you have to make sure that he attends it for the specific time that you have given it. Okay, so now when we talk about timeouts, it is very important that you set out the duration. You don't have to give timeouts for half an hour or 1 hour or such a long time. But I mean, a timeout situation can just be given, like for example, if a child is 5-year-old, you can just give out a 5-minute timeout to the child so that it will help come I mean, it will help him to calm down. And in those 5 minutes as well, with you as well, you are going to step out to another room and you are also going to calm yourself down. Okay, so that's how timeout works. And specifically, I think rather than the children, it is very important for the parents to take the timeout, because your consequences decide the child's future behaviors, decides the motivation of doing that behavior again. अगर मैंने उस टाइम पे उसको वो नेगेटिव अटेंशन दे दी, द चाइल्ड माइट डू इट अगेन. बट अगर मैंने एक कैलकुलेटेड रिस्पॉन्स उसको दिया कि अच्छा ठीक है तुमने कर लिया, बट दिस इज नॉट हाउ इट इज सपोज टू बी, rather than do this, that will make the child understand it more clearly as well. Okay, yeah, okay. Now coming to the next one, practice before preaching. So as I was just discussing here, that the first thing that you have to make sure is that you have to practice all of these things before actually putting it out in actual situations, right? This is one very important thing that we think कि अच्छा आज मुझे strategy पता चल गई या आज मुझे समझा दिया इन्होंने कैसे करना है, तो मैं आज ही सारी चीजें अप्लाई करके देखना चाहूंगी, या मैं आज ही देखूंगी how my child is working around these strategies. But we just have to keep in mind that the first thing is that you have to be a little consistent in the kind of strategies you're using with your children, right? If you are going to be consistent towards the timeout strategies, just make sure that you're giving the consistent timeout to the child for this particular inappropriate behavior. ओके, सो इट्स नॉट कि मैंने आज ये वाली टेक्निक यूज करके देखी, बच्चे ने नहीं करी, तो मैं कल कुछ और यूज करके देखूंगी और फिर मैं देखूंगी मेरा बच्चा किस तरीके से रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है. क्योंकि एनीवे बिहेवियर्स आर अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट टू बी टॉट टू चिल्ड्रन. एज वी ऑल हर्ड, बुरी आदतें हमें बहुत अच्छे से समझ आ जाती हैं, बच्चा बहुत जल्दी बुरी आदतें सीखता है, पर अच्छी आदतें सीखने में हमको बहुत टाइम लगता है. सो आई फील दैट इज वन वेरी गुड एंड वेरी अप्रोप्रिएट थिंग दैट हैज बीन टॉट टू अस, कि हमेशा हमको थोड़ा सा टाइम देना होता है पहले उस चीज को बच्चे को समझने के लिए और उसको अपनी आदतों में ढालने के लिए. ठीक है, so always try to carry out these strategies in different situations, right? So you can do different role plays where if you are asking the child कि अच्छा ठीक है अगर मम्मा तुमसे गुस्सा होती है तो तुम क्या कर सकते हो, या अगर आपके किसी फ्रेंड ने आपको मारा तो what will be your reaction, right? So when you talk about these different situations with the children, you can actually help them in understanding what should be the appropriate response to it beforehand. And once the child understands those responses and the importance of those responses, he will be able to have a saner mind to be applying those in actual situations, right? It is just as similar to कि अगर कोई मुझे, जब मैं गुस्सा हो रही हूँ और कोई मुझे बोलेगा कि अच्छा सृष्टि, I think you need to calm down, that will probably increase my anger. But if somebody would have told me beforehand, okay, Shrishti, if you're getting angry, probably you can go to another room and you can hold an ice cube so that you calm yourself down. That one thing will still come to my mind once that, okay, I can try that because I have to control my anger. राइट सो दैट ऑल्सो ब्रिंग्स इन अ लॉट ऑफ सेल्फ रेगुलेशन कि अच्छा मुझे इस तरीके से अपना गुस्सा कंट्रोल करना है क्योंकि वो मैं समझ रही हूँ कि वो इम्पोर्टेंट क्यों है, rather than somebody else coming up to and telling me, right? So in the same scenario, अगर आप भी बच्चे को जाके इस टाइम पे बोलेंगे कि ना कि अच्छा बच्चा तुमको गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए या तुम ऐसे नहीं करोगे या तुमको इस पर्टिकुलर तरीके से गुस्सा नहीं दिखाना चाहिए, तो चाइल्ड विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग बिकॉज ऑलरेडी उसका टेम्पर इतना हाई होगा उस टाइम पे. So rather than telling it at that particular moment, try to tell all of these things beforehand. कि अच्छा बच्चा जब आपको गुस्सा आ रहा होता है ना, तो what you can do is that you can close your eyes and then you can count from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1, so that the child is taking a time out by himself, right? So all of these things do take time. I'm not saying that they're just going to come off very easily, या हम ये 1 या 2 दिन में ही बच्चे को ये सारी चीजें सिखा देंगे, but then you need to be a little consistent with yourself once you're teaching these things to the children. Okay. And the last thing, this is one very, very important thing, right? So what to do instead of what not to do. This is one thing that we really need to understand that. And I'll just give you a very basic example with this thing, that if what if in today's seminar, me and Garima would have just come to you and told you कि अच्छा हमको इस तरीके से नहीं करना चाहिए, कि आपको बच्चे से ऐसे बात नहीं करनी चाहिए, आपको बच्चे को इधर नहीं डांटना चाहिए, आपको बच्चे को ऐसे प्रेजेंट नहीं करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, वो नहीं करना चाहिए. बट व्हाट इफ हम आपको यही नहीं बताते कि करना क्या चाहिए? You would have been exactly the same amount of clueless that you were before attending the seminar, right? So it's just going to be the same for children, where we are telling them what not to do, but not focusing upon what to do, right? A lot of times we just focus on a lot of inappropriate behaviors without even thinking कि हम किस तरीके से appropriate behaviors अपने बच्चे को सिखा सकते हैं. So what the key takeaway from this particular point is that you really need to focus upon the appropriate behaviors and how are these behaviors taught to children. क्योंकि जब मैं बच्चे को एक appropriate behavior सिखाती हूँ, it will always leave a lesser space for conducting the inappropriate behavior, because the child would already know कि मेरे को किस तरीके से situation में react करना है, and how am I supposed to react and how my parents are going to react in that situation if I'm doing this particular thing. So it becomes very easy for the child to understand these particular things. Okay, so yeah, that was it. So Karma, would you like to add on to something? So we'll just start with question answers after some time.
No, Shrishti, I think everything has been covered. Yeah, we can start with Q&As.
Okay, great. Okay, so this one quote I just wanted to share, that your children will become who you are, so be who you want them to be. So this is one thing, as we had just discussed beforehand, that it's very important that we also display the behaviors that we are asking our children to display, because again, children learn from their parents. The first audience for a child is going to be the family, and if the family is going to display certain behaviors and we expect the children not to do it, it's going to become very difficult for the child to do the opposite things here. So always practice what you are preaching at the first place. If you think that the child should not hit, you should not hit the child first. If you think that the child should not scream, you should also stop screaming at the child first. Right. So yeah, we'll just start taking the questions now. Okay, somebody has raised their hand. So we'll just take that question and then we're going to come to the chat box, because a lot of people have put in their questions already. Hello. Yes, Radha ji.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I just wanted to ask you कि आपने इसमें समझाया था कि हमें बच्चे को पूरी तरीके से कंट्रोल नहीं करना है, मींस हमें उनके सारे एक्शंस को कंट्रोल नहीं करना है, लेकिन जैसे अगर हम बच्चे को प्लेग्राउंड में भेज रहे हैं इन द मॉर्निंग अगर हम चाहते हैं कि बच्चा थोड़ा सा पहले फिजिकल अपनी एक्सरसाइज कर ले और उसके बाद वो अपनी जो भी एक्टिविटी मतलब जो उसके अकॉर्डिंग वो चाह रहा है, तो क्या हमें उसको पुश करना चाहिए उस फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज के लिए कि लेट देम बी व्हाटएवर दे वांट टू डू?
See, I think what an appropriate approach to this particular situation would be, क्योंकि आपको ये चीज समझनी है कि अल्टीमेटली जो वो अपनी एक्टिविटी कर रहा है या और जो आप फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज उनको करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं, देयर बेसिकली द पर्पस इज द सेम, right? So you can always give the child a choice here, so the child also feels that there is an authority that he also has. ठीक है, तो आप उनको अपनी तरफ से इस चीज के लिए प्रेजेंट करो कि अच्छा, तुमको पहले एक्टिविटी करनी, तुमको पहले खेलना है या तुमको पहले फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज करके फिनिश करनी है। ठीक है, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली हमारा फोकस वही है कि हमको उसको फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज करानी है, हमारा पर्पस ये है कि उसकी एनर्जी थोड़ी सी एक्सर्ट होनी चाहिए, राइट? सो आप, इट डज नॉट मैटर कि आप उसको कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज इफ दैट इज द सिचुएशन ना, बच्चा अगर उसके हाथ में वो चीज नहीं होगी, इट्स गोइंग टू क्रिएट मोर फ्रस्ट्रेशन कि यार मैं खेलने जा रहा हूँ, ये मेरा खेलने का टाइम है, बट फिर भी मुझे मम्मा बता रही है कि क्या करना है। सो इससे बेटर ये दैट यू प्रोवाइड देम विद द चॉइस एंड आस्क देम दैट अच्छा अभी नहीं करना तो बाद में करना है, पर करना तो पड़ेगा ही। So you present it like this, you say that do you want to do this first or do you want to do that first, right? So that it is established that you will have to complete both of the activities, but the order you can choose here.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
Thank you. All right. Sapna ji also has a question. Yeah.
हाय।
Hi. Yes.
मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है मैम, मेरा बेटा 9 इयर्स का है, ऑटिस्टिक नॉन वर्बल। तो उसको ना ओवर जॉय जो है मैनेज नहीं होता है कि अगर मैं उसको कहीं पे राइड्स के लिए ले जाती हूँ तो वो दूसरी राइड लेना ही नहीं चाहता, फर्स्ट राइड पे ही इतना अटक जाता है कि 4-5 राइड के बाद भी वो चाहता ही नहीं कि नेक्स्ट राइड में जाऊं, कि वहां पे भी अच्छा लगेगा, वहां पे भी बहुत मजा आएगा, लेकिन वो सुनता नहीं है, बहुत रोता है। और दूसरी राइड पे मैं उसको जबरदस्ती ले जाऊं एक बार ट्रैक करके कि देखो यहाँ पे भी मजा आया, तो भी वो थर्ड राइड लेना नहीं चाहेगा, वो सेकंड पे ही अटकता रहेगा। सेम चीज बाकी चीजों में भी होती है, जैसे उसको एक बार मैंने गरबा दिखाया तो देखा उसने, बहुत मजा आया, वहां से वो अच्छे से घर आया, क्योंकि मैंने उसको प्रिपेयर किया था कि ये सब होगा, ऐसा सब होगा, फिर हमें घर आना है, फिनिश हो जाएगा। तो फिर बाद में घर आके उसको मैनेज नहीं हुआ, वो फिर 1 घंटा रोता रहा घर आने के बाद। तो मैं उसको इतने ओवरवेलमिंग जॉय से नॉर्मल पे कैसे लाऊं?
Okay, so the first thing is, जैसा आपने मुझे बताया that we already have a diagnosis for the child, so a lot of it can be related to the child's sensory concerns here. ठीक है,
हाँ।
and also the second part of it is the rigidity in the child. ठीक है, सो क्योंकि आप ये चीज पहले देखेंगे कि बच्चा इतना ज्यादा एप्रीहेंसिव है इन द बिगिनिंग बिकॉज ही डजंट नो कि आगे क्या होने वाला है, इसलिए वो उस चीज के लिए प्रिपेयर्ड ही नहीं है। ठीक है, तो उसके बाद जब आप उस चीज को इंट्रोड्यूस कर देते हैं उनको, तो देन द चाइल्ड बिकम्स वेरी एक्साइटेड कि ओ ये तो अच्छा था, तो आई शुड जस्ट डू दिस थिंग, एंड देन द चाइल्ड वुड जस्ट बी स्टक ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर एक्टिविटी, तो वो वहां पे उनकी रिजिडिटी आ जाती है। सो नाउ व्हाट यू कैन डू इज दैट यू कैन स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग द चाइल्ड बिफोर हैंड कि अच्छा टुडे अगर हम बाहर जाने वाले तो हम बहुत डिफरेंट डिफरेंट राइड्स करेंगे। ठीक है, तो आप इस तरीके से बच्चे को पहले से ही उस चीज के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं दैट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू जस्ट बी स्टक ऑन वन राइड, बट हम अलग अलग चीजें ट्राई करेंगे, अगर आपको अच्छी नहीं लगी तो आप कभी भी नीचे आ सकते हो। ठीक है, सो यू आर अगेन गिविंग अ लिटिल स्पेस टू द चाइल्ड कि इफ he does not like it he can come back from it, but at least we can start trying it out, राइट? लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब हम बच्चे को खाना भी खिलाते हैं तो हमारे साथ यही होता है ना कि अच्छा आप एक बार टेस्ट करके देखो, आपको नहीं अच्छा लगेगा तो मम्मा आपको फोर्स नहीं करेंगी खाने के लिए। सो हियर यू आर नॉट फोर्सिंग इट, यू आर नॉट इम्पोजिंग इट ऑन द चाइल्ड, बट आस्किंग हिम टू ट्राई इट एट जस्ट वंस एंड सी हाउ इज द चाइल्ड रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू इट। So, and again, the second part of it, always for the rigidity, prepare the child beforehand so that the child understands that, okay, these are the things that I have to do, and he's making up his mind like that. Okay, so try doing this thing. It might take some time, but the child will eventually start understanding how to particularly work upon this.
ओके, तो सिर्फ प्रिपेयर करना है उसको पहले जाने से,
जी
लेकिन फिर
हाँ।
घर आने के बाद क्या करे कि वो बाद में रोने लग जाता है?
अब उसको पहले से ही प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं ना कि हम लोग इतने से इतना टाइम वी आर गोइंग टू डू दिस थिंग एंड देन वी हैव टू कम बैक होम। ठीक है, यू आर जस्ट प्रिपेयरिंग हिम फॉर द होल सिचुएशन हियर।
हम्म।
ठीक है, so it's not that again when we are going to start with an activity you're going to tell him, but also we have to tell him that when is it going to end. ठीक है, the whole concept of rigidity revolves around this thing only कि बच्चे को समझ आना चाहिए कि ये शुरू है तो यही नहीं चलता रहेगा, चीजें चेंज होती हैं, ट्रांजिशन होता है हमारा। ठीक है, तो उस तरीके से ट्राई डूइंग दिस थिंग विद द चाइल्ड कि आप उसको पहले से ही बिफोर हैंड प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो उसके लिए।
ओके, और अगर फिर भी ये सिचुएशन मुझे फेस करनी पड़ रही है कि घर आने के बाद जो मैंने
थोड़ा सा,
प्रिपेयर कर चुकी हूँ,
हाँ, तो तब
तो
आप
उस
उसको
वक्त
खाली आप उसको रिमाइंड कराओगे कि अच्छा मम्मा ने आपको बताया था ना दैट दिस इज गोइंग टू हैपन, मम्मा ने बताया था कि हम अभी वापस आएंगे घर पे, घर आके हम ये करेंगे। सो अगेन यू आर जस्ट टेलिंग द चाइल्ड टू ट्रांजिट फ्रॉम वन एक्टिविटी टू अनदर दैट वे। ठीक है, सो आप
ओके।
उसको जब पहले से ही बताओगे तो अगेन उसका टैंट्रम उस पर्टिकुलर चीज के लिए काफी कम होगा अपने आप से।
ओके।
ठीक है,
ओके,
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
ऑलराइट, सो आमिर जी, आई एम गोइंग टू अनम्यूट यू नाउ।
या मैम, एक्चुअली मेरा क्वेश्चन क्या है ना कि मेरी बेटी 3.5 ईयर्स की है। ओके, और वो कुछ भी नया ऑब्जेक्ट देखती है ना तो वो मतलब अपने आप को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाती है और वो चीज़ मांगती है बहुत। मतलब जब तक उसे नहीं मिलेगा रोना चिल्लाना या फिर कुछ ना कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा जिद करती है। और सेकंड थिंग ये क्या है कि वो खाने में मतलब कुछ भी चीज़ नए से ट्राई नहीं करना चाहती है। अगर कुछ नई चीज़ देंगे तो अगर जबरदस्ती को खिला देंगे तभी उगल देगी वो।
तो इज
इसको
देयर अ
कैसे कंट्रोल कर?
डायग्नोसिस फॉर द चाइल्ड? बच्चे का कोई डायग्नोसिस है? हेलो आमिर जी, आई एम
या
आस्किंग। हाँ।
या एक्चुअली अभी डायग्नोसिस चल रहा है, मॉम्स ब्लिस का मतलब थेरेपी क्लास चल रहा है। प्लस एक लोकली डॉक्टर है, उनसे हम लोग कंसल्ट कर रहे हैं, तो वो मेडिसिन भी चल रहा है।
राइट, तो जो आपने मेरे को
एक्सेप्टेन और
या तो आपने जैसे मुझे खाने की बात कही तो अगेन जैसे अभी मैं बात करी थी रिजिडिटी की और सेंसरी कंसर्न्स की, सो व्हेन अ चाइल्ड विल हैव अ लिटिल सेंसरी कंसर्न्स रिगार्डिंग एनी ऑफ द बॉडी एरियाज, बच्चे की थोड़ी सी रेजिस्टेंस आती ही है चीजों में ट्राई करने के लिए। ठीक है, तो आप अगेन जैसे आपने भी मुझे ये बोला कि बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि आप उसको खिलाने की कोशिश करते हैं या अगर आप उसको जबरदस्ती खिला भी देते हैं तो वो उस चीज को निकाल देते हैं क्योंकि वो उस चीज के लिए कंफर्टेबल ही नहीं है। राइट, प्रॉबेबली आप ये इस तरीके से सोच के देखिए कि कोई ऐसी चीज जो आपको बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है खाने में, कोई जबरदस्ती आपके मुंह में उस चीज को डाले तो प्रॉबेबली आपका भी रिएक्शन सेम होगा। right? So before doing that, I mean before you start doing this particular thing, what you can do is that you can ask the child कि अच्छा मतलब तुम ट्राई करना चाहती हो, एक बार इतना छोटा सा ट्राई करके देखो और फिर देखो तुमको पसंद आता है कि नहीं आता, नहीं आता तो तुम निकाल देना। ठीक है, बिकॉज उस टाइम पे एटलीस्ट थोड़ी सी बच्चे की रिसेप्टिविटी बढ़ती है। ठीक है, बट ऑल्सो यू हैव टू कंसिडर क्योंकि बच्चे के सेंसरी कंसर्न्स हो सकते हैं उससे रिलेटेड, आई एम श्योर होंगे, तो कंसर्न्स होंगे तो उस किसी चीज के लिए वो कुछ भी कंफर्टेबल नहीं होगी, तो वो आपका ओटी आपको बेटर बताएंगे कि किस तरीके से वो चीज बच्चे को एक्सपोज करनी है। ठीक है, एंड सेकेंड थिंग जो आपने मुझे ये वाली चीज बोली कि बहुत ज्यादा वो इस चीज के लिए बोलती है कि मुझे ये वाली चीज चाहिए या जो भी चीज वो देखती है, तो यहाँ पे आपको बच्चे का वेटिंग कॉन्सेप्ट पे थोड़ा सा काम करना है। आपको बच्चे को सिखाना है कि हम अभी नहीं देंगे। ठीक है, एंड बी वेरी क्लियर दैट व्हाई आर यू नॉट गिविंग, बी वेरी क्लियर विद द रैशनलाइजेशन। आप उसको जो भी रीजन देंगे, हमको बच्चों को टरकाना नहीं होता, हमको बच्चों को समझाना होता है इस चीज में कि हम अभी आपको क्यों नहीं दे रहे हैं। अगर हम देंगे तो हम थोड़ी देर मतलब अगर इफ एट ऑल यू आर प्लानिंग टू बाय इट फॉर हर, टेल हर दैट ओके हम ये तब खरीदेंगे। इफ यू आर नॉट प्लानिंग टू बाय इट फॉर हर, प्रोबेबली टेल हर दैट हमारे पास घर में ये चीज है इसलिए मम्मा पापा तुमको वो चीज नहीं दिला रहे हैं। ठीक है, तो आप ये सारी चीजें बच्चों के साथ समझाएंगे, आप उनको बताएंगे क्योंकि सी अगेन दिस इज अ वेरी चाइल्ड टिपिकल चाइल्ड बिहेवियर कि उनको मार्केट में जो भी दिखता है उनको वो सारी चीजें चाहिए होती हैं, पर हमको ये बिहेवियर बच्चों का प्रमोट नहीं करना होता है। तो आपको बस यहाँ पे उनको एक रैशनली चीज समझानी है कि तुमको अभी ये चीज नहीं मिल सकती क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास इससे रिलेटेड ये वाली चीज है, या हम ये तब खरीदेंगे जब तुम्हारा बर्थडे आएगा और व्हाट्सएवर, अगर आप बाद में उसको बताना चाहते हो।
मैम एक्चुअली उसका इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है कि वो समझ सके कि जो हम लोग बोल रहे हैं ये कि आपको बाद में देंगे, वो जस्ट सडनली क्राई करने लगेगी अगर सपोज।
राइट, क्योंकि अगेन एज आई सेड बच्चे का वेटिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है, राइट। तो जब वो वेटिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट आना शुरू होगा बच्चे में धीरे धीरे करके, तो तब उनको जाके थोड़ा बहुत समझ आएगा कि अगर मुझे अभी वेट करने के लिए बोला है, दैट मीन्स आई डू नॉट हैव टू आस्क फॉर दिस थिंग। So, and when you start working on the waiting concept of the child, you will probably ask her to wait for 10 seconds before giving her something, and then वो धीरे धीरे करके थोड़ा सा बढ़ना शुरू करेगा। उसी तरीके से हम बच्चे की वोकैबुलरी बढ़ाते हैं, उसी तरीके से हम बच्चे का समझना, अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ाते हैं, ताकि हम ये वाले कॉन्सेप्ट साथ में लाके आए। तो आप अपने थेरेपिस्ट से भी यू कैन प्रोबेबली ट्राई आउट एंड आस्क देम कि हाउ डू वी इंट्रोड्यूस द वेटिंग कॉन्सेप्ट प्रॉपर्ली टू अ चाइल्ड।
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. So yes, Shama ji have a question. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
My kid is 7 years old now. I'm having a problem. It's like a combination of two things. His anger will show when he reacts to something like it's not there, not seen to ours. Because middle of playing or activity like Zumba or yoga, I'm trying to interact him with so many things. He will, out of nowhere, he will just go and push the other kid. I am having a kid as a volunteer just to play with him and interact with him. And basically, we're having the ADHD more than the autism features.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not, the autism feature is so much less with high IQ. But the problem is his reaction to something that we don't see. We don't actually, I don't see where is what's targeting his temper.
Okay.
And he will, out of nowhere, he will just push someone.
Okay.
And when you ask him, what's the problem? He will say, wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. And then he will repeat again. With high IQ, I think I know that he might understand the situation, that what he did is wrong and that's something we shouldn't do. But is it out of sensory or it's out of just he's excited too much? Another thing that school informed me that when we clap hands to him and we say, wow, great, you're good, he will go and do something violent like bite or like pinch the teacher or that out of I'm not understanding the situation, how can we treat it? Thank you so much.
All right. So as you've mentioned before that we know that there is a diagnosis of the child for ADHD. A lot of time, like when ADHD is very predominant in children, we really need to understand that there is a lot of play of impulsivity in the children. Right. So even if I'm going to teach the child this particular thing that, okay, these are the things that you are not supposed to do, he might still end up doing those things because that is his impulsive mind which is asking him to do those things. Right. So controlling those impulsivities become more important rather than teaching the appropriate behaviors here. So, so the first thing that you have to work upon is the impulsivity. Right. And those impulsivities you can probably work around with a lot of brain gym activities and a lot of mindfulness activities, in which even if the child is like very small right now, probably if the age is like 5 to 6 years, there are a lot of activities in which the child will have to control his brain. Okay. And that brain control just comes once we start introducing and how we start teaching the child how to control his or her own body at the first place. Okay, so do a lot of activities in the child which would require a lot of control in terms of controlling the gross motor, the gross motor skills, like the hands or the legs, certain activities. Once that is particularly done, we will start working upon sitting activities in which he will have to control his actions, right? So for example, if I'm asking the child to probably, there's this one game called red light, green light, stop, right? So in that particular activity, whenever I'm saying green light, the child has to run, but when I'm asking the child to stop, he will have to stop at wherever position that the person is. Now this requires crazy amount of energy in the children, that they have to stop themselves and hold the particular position that they're in, right? So in these terms here, the gross motor skill control is going to come. Once these activities are done and the children are able to follow a little of these activities, you will eventually have to move down to the activities which are more of sitting. right? So for example, I can ask the child that you just have to close your eyes and you just have to follow your movement, like follow your hands like these, right? So again, like for us it might be a little easy, but for a child with ADHD it's going to be very difficult to even follow the lines which are not visible to him, right? Because there is no visual perception, where there is no visual cues given to him. This is why it's going to be difficult. So with these particular things, you start working on the impulsivity, and once that impulsivity is in control, you will start working on the behaviors of the child. That will make more sense. That will actually give him the space to control his mind, actually, because this is going to create a lot of frustration otherwise in the child, that like, I know what has to be done, I know what's the appropriate behavior, but I'm not being able to do it, and I'm constantly getting criticism from my parents and my teachers around.
Okay, so impulsivity is the main thing here.
Yeah, impulsivity is the main thing here, because you're telling me if there is an ADHD diagnosis, that's like one very important thing that you have to work upon, probably more than the hyperactivity part of it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So yeah, we have another question. Mohammed Wasim Akram.
हेलो मैम।
Hello.
हाँ मैम, मेरा जो प्रॉब्लम है वो ADHD के है। वो थोड़ा जो मेरा बॉय है वो उतना ज्यादा नहीं बात करता, उतना ज्यादा नहीं रिस्पॉन्स करता। जो उसको मदर जो रिस्पॉन्स करता है वो, या कोई फूड देता है वो नहीं खाता। वो एक जो उतना ज्यादा हाइपर एक्टिविटी नहीं है, थोड़ा सा है, मिनिमाइज है, वो ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है। तो मैम मैं जो बात कर रहा हूँ हाउ टू कंट्रोल एंड हाउ टू मैनेजमेंट
ADHD का स्पेसिफिकली।
यस हाँ मैम, यस ऑटिज्म।
ठीक है, ऑटिज्म का, राइट? सो ऑटिज्म बेसिकली अगर हम बात करते हैं, सो अगेन ऑटिज्म एक बहुत बड़ा एक वास्ट फील्ड है, ठीक है? क्योंकि जो आपने अभी मुझे एरियाज बताए हैं कि कुछ वो बात नहीं सुनता है या वो समझ नहीं पाता है या जो भी होता है, सो ऑल ऑफ दीस थिंग, ये सारी चीजों पे बहुत अलग अलग तरीकों से हमको टारगेट करना होता है। ऐसा नहीं है कि हम एक चीज बताएंगे, हम 2 चीजें बताएंगे तो वो चीज टारगेट हो जाएगी। तो इन एनी केस आप हमारे किसी साइकोलॉजिस्ट को कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या यू कैन गिव अस अ फीडबैक। बट नॉनदलेस स्टार्टिंग में आप ये चीज कर सकते हैं कि जैसे आप उसको कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन दे रहे हैं, तो फर्स्ट थिंग आपको ये मेक श्योर करनी है कि उसको वो इंस्ट्रक्शन समझ भी आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा, ठीक है? क्योंकि जब हम बच्चों की अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो वी एज पेरेंट्स व्हेन वी आर कॉन्स्टेंटली टीचिंग द चिल्ड्रन कि अच्छा आप ये कर लीजिए, आप ये कर लीजिए, तो हमको लगता है कि प्रोबेबली 5 बारी करने के बाद बच्चे को समझ आ गया हो, बट मे बी बच्चा वो चीज रजिस्टर ही नहीं कर पा रहा है, बच्चे के लिए वो चीज इतना डिफिकल्ट बन रहा है, ठीक है? तो आपको ये प्रैक्टिस करना है आप एट द फर्स्ट प्लेस कि जो भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस आप उसको दे रहे हैं, जो भी चीजें आप उसको करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं, वो उसको समझ आए, और वो चीजें आप उसको पहले करके दिखाएं ताकि उसको वो चीज समझ भी आए, ठीक है? तभी उसको थोड़ा सा ज्यादा समझ आना शुरू होगा, तभी इट विल बी बेटर फॉर यू ऑल्सो टू सी कि मैंने इस तरीके से करा तो उसको समझ आया, तो मेरे को किस तरीके से उसको आगे की भी चीजें सिखानी है, ठीक है? So that's how you start. But again, जैसा मुझे बोल रहे हो, I think you should start seeking therapy. तो you can contact one of our people. हम लोग यहाँ पे email address अभी लिख देते हैं, तो you can contact us and then we can probably discuss in a length कि किस तरीके से हमको इस चीज पे काम करना है, ठीक है?
बिल्कुल मैम।
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
Snehal
Thank you.
Snehal, you may ask.
यस मैम। हेलो मैम। मैम मैं टीचर हूँ और मेरा एक स्टूडेंट है जो बोलता नहीं है। मतलब प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मैं मतलब हम लोग ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लेते हैं और मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं हर बच्चे से कम्युनिकेट करूँ, लेकिन उस बच्चे का प्रॉब्लम है कि वो उसके पेरेंट बोलते हैं कि वो घर में भी साइन लैंग्वेज यूज करके बात करता है, और अभी वो 4 इयर्स का है। तो मैम मुझे पता करना है, मैं जानना चाहती हूँ कि मैं उससे कैसे उसके वर्ड्स निकलवाऊँ, वो कैसे बात कर सकेगा मेरे से।
कितने साल का है बच्चा?
मैम 4 4 years का।
4 years का है। तो पेरेंट्स आप सबसे पहले द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि बच्चे का स्पीच है भी या नहीं है, ठीक है। सिंस यू आर टेलिंग मी कि वो घर पे भी साइन लैंग्वेज में बात करता है, तो जो उनके बात करने का तरीका है दैट इज द नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन दैट द चाइल्ड इज डूइंग राइट नाउ, ठीक है।
एक्चुअली द पेरेंट्स आर टेकिंग लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट,
या
बट नहीं, थेरेपी के लिए मैंने उनसे बात की थी, बट ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। शायद वो लोग वेट कर रहे हैं कि अभी पेंडेमिक है, हम कहीं मिल नहीं पा रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चों को वो मिल नहीं रहा है, पीयर ग्रुप नहीं मिल रहा है, बात करने के लिए नहीं मिल रहा है, हम बाहर नहीं भेज पा रहे हैं, तो मे बी दैट वाज द रीजन दे फील लाइक दैट। बट मैम, मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं किस तरह से क्या एफर्ट्स लगाऊं कि वो बच्चा कुछ बोल सके, या मैं
ठीक
कैसे
है।
उसे असेस करूं।
All
हाँ,
right.
ये
So the first basic thing is कि जब भी हम like when we talk about developing speech in children, right? So the first thing that we have to see is that if there is a motivation of speaking or not in the child, ठीक है। क्योंकि बच्चा 4 साल का है, बच्चा प्रोबेबली पिछले 3.5 साल से 3 साल से अपने पेरेंट्स से कम्युनिकेट करने की कोशिश कर रहा है जस्ट बाय सिग्नल्स और जस्ट बाय पॉइंटिंग एट थिंग्स और टेकिंग मम्मा पापा एंड आस्किंग देम टू पॉइंट आउट। तो बच्चे का ना ये कम्युनिकेशन पैटर्न बन चुका है, ठीक है। और उस पैटर्न को ब्रेक करना बच्चे के लिए बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल होगा, स्पेशली व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू टीच अ न्यू लैंग्वेज ऑल टुगेदर टू हिम। तो जब भी हम
एक्चुअली मैम, मेरी उनसे जब क्लियर बात हुई थी तो मुझे ये पता चला था कि पेरेंट्स ने बच्चों को मतलब आफ्टर बर्थ अपनी नानी के पास रखा हुआ था।
ओके।
तो वो पेरेंट्स के साथ भी नहीं रह रहा था। उसके बाद उन्होंने प्री नर्सरी भी कराया है बच्चे से, तो उस समय उनका रेस्पॉन्स जो बोल रहे हैं कि वो रेस्पॉन्स अच्छा मिला। और अभी राइट नाउ दे आर इन महाराष्ट्र एंड अर्लियर दे वर इन तमिलनाडु। तो लैंग्वेज कंसर्न है या अब लैंग्वेज जो भी होगी तो उनके घर में वो लोग लैंग्वेज से ये कर सकते हैं, वो बात करते होंगे, लेकिन वो रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करती है।
ऑफ कोर्स, क्योंकि बच्चे को वो चीज समझ ही नहीं आएगी कि हम किस तरीके से इससे बात करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। सो द फर्स्ट वेरी बेसिक थिंग इज कि पहली चीज तो आई थिंक दिस इज अ वेरी एक्सटेंसिव थिंग कि बच्ची को बिल्कुल ही बेसिक लेवल से स्पीच सिखानी है, तो दैट रिक्वायर्स थेरेपी, ठीक है। पेरेंट्स अपने आप वो चीज नहीं कर पाएंगे बिकॉज बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें होती हैं दैट द थेरेपिस्ट इज ओनली गोइंग टू टेल द पेरेंट्स। सो वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ ऑनलाइन ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल एज वेल। अब तो बहुत जगह पे ऑफलाइन भी खुल गया है। सो आप प्लीज उनको रेकमेंड करिए एटलीस्ट फॉर अ क्लिनिकल कॉल। आप हमारे यहाँ पे थेरेपिस्ट हैं, हमसे बात कर सकते हैं एटलीस्ट सो दैट दे गेट एन आइडिया, ठीक है। एंड फॉर एज फार एज के अभी बेसिक्स इंटरवेंशन हम इस चीज से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, दैट इज कि आप उनको ये चीज समझा सकते हैं कि बिल्कुल नीड बेस्ड स्पीच से कैसे काम करना है, राइट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने जब बच्चे को अगर पानी चाहिए या छोटी से छोटी चीज चाहिए, आजकल आई एम श्योर इतने टाइम से यही होता होगा कि बच्चे ने बोला या नहीं बोला, पेरेंट्स ने इन एनी केस उसको वो चीज प्रोवाइड कर दी, तो इसलिए उसकी वो कभी नीड ही नहीं हुई चीज मांगने की, ठीक है। तो हमको वो छोटी छोटी नीड्स बच्चे की क्रिएट करनी है सो दैट द चाइल्ड विल एटलीस्ट बी मोटिवेटेड इनफ टू मेक अ साउंड, राइट। कि वो चाहे पानी ना बोले बट वो पा ही बोल दे, सो दैट वी नो दैट शी इज आस्किंग फॉर समथिंग आउट, ठीक है। सो इतने बेसिक से हम स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं कि हम साउंड फॉर्मेशंस पे काम करेंगे, साउंड्स पे काम करेंगे, एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू मूव ऑन टू वर्ड्स। तो आप इफ यू आर इन स्कूल आल्सो ट्राई डूइंग दिस विद हर, दैट आस्क हर टू जस्ट टेक साउंड्स ऑफ द फर्स्ट वर्ड्स दैट व्हाटएवर शी इज ट्राइंग टू स्पीक। खाने का ख या पानी का प, इतना बेसिक से आप उस चीज को स्टार्ट करेंगे।
हाँ हाँ, ठीक है ना मैम। थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
थैंक यू। ऑलराइट, we're just going to take the last question for Supriya ji, and there's one more Sneha, then we're just going to I think end the session because it's up time. So yes, Supriya ji.
हेलो मैम,
Hi.
मेरा बेटा मैम 15 इयर्स का है, मंगोल चाइल्ड, डाउन सिंड्रोम है उसको। मैम उसका ना गुस्सा बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया है, और जैसे अब हार्मोन चेंज हो रहे हैं तो सेक्सुअल प्रॉब्लम्स भी आ रही हैं, तो हम उसको किस तरीके से कंट्रोल करें वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा।
ठीक है, ऑल राइट। सो द फर्स्ट थिंग, जैसा आप मुझे बोल रहे हो कि अभी ही इज ग्रोइंग अप, ही इज बिकम अ टीनेजर, ही इज 15 इयर्स ओल्ड, तो आई एम श्योर उसका जो गुस्सा करने का तरीका पहले होता होगा वुड हैव बीन वेरी डिफरेंट, एंड नाउ इट इज बिकमिंग अ लिटिल डिफरेंट बिकॉज ही इज बिकमिंग फिजिकली अ लिटिल स्ट्रॉन्गर एज वेल,
यस मैम।
राइट, क्योंकि बच्चों के लिए बचपन में मुश्किल होता है पेरेंट्स के साथ फिजिकल होना या पेरेंट्स को मारना इन दोस टर्म्स, सो यूजुअली इट कम्स वंस द चाइल्ड इज केपेबल इनफ टू स्टार्ट हिटिंग द पीपल अराउंड, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this is one very important thing that you have to restrain him and tell him that bhai, this is something that is completely not allowed. Okay, so again, if you're telling me that there is a diagnosis of Down syndrome, what you can do is that all of these children, they work really well with instructions. ठीक है, तो आप ये rather than asking him every time not to hit you, make it a rule at home that nobody is going to hit anybody at home. ठीक है,
Yeah.
तो जब आप इस तरीके के छोटे छोटे रूल्स अपने घर में रखते हैं ना, उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे बच्चों के लिए थोड़ा सा इजी हो जाता है उन चीजों को फॉलो करना।
मैम एक्चुअली में अभी हुआ क्या था, जैसे वो उसको जैसे जैम्स बहुत पसंद है, उसने कुछ गलत।
सुप्रिया जी, आप म्यूट पे चले गए हैं।
ये बात बिल्कुल मेरी मानती हूँ। तो उसका गुस्सा इतना ज्यादा,
आपकी आवाज कट गई, मैं एक्चुअली सुन नहीं पाई। हाँ जी।
हाँ, जैसे उसको जैम्स बहुत पसंद है और उसने कुछ गलत किया तो मैंने उसको जैम्स नहीं दी खाने के लिए, तो वो इतना ज्यादा गुस्सा हो गया, बस घर में वो मेरे से डरता है, तो बस वो मेरे सामने।
आप वापस से म्यूट पे चले गए। हेलो,
और कुशन पे अपने हाथ मारना शुरू कर दिया, मतलब इतना ज्यादा उस समय उसमें गुस्सा था कि मैं नहीं हूं तो घर में किसी के भी हाथ उठा दूं।
ओके, तो आपकी बीच में ना आवाज काफी ज्यादा ब्रेक हो गई थी, तो आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि खाली आप ही को हिट करते हैं या आपको छोड़ के बाकी सबको हिट करते हैं?
नहीं, मेरे पे मतलब मेरे को तो हिट करता ही नहीं है, मैं नहीं होती हूँ तब किसी को कर सकता है वो, मेरे सामने तो किसी को करेगा भी नहीं।
एग्जैक्टली, क्योंकि उसको ये चीज समझ आती है दैट मम्मा हैज क्रिएटेड दिस रूल दैट वी डोंट हैव टू हिट समबडी, राइट? तो उसको पता है कि अगर मैंने यहाँ पे ये वाला बिहेवियर डिस्प्ले करा तो उसका क्या रिजल्ट आने वाला है, उसका क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंस होने वाला है, इसलिए वो उस चीज में वो बिहेवियर नहीं दिखा रहा, बट ही इज नॉट ट्रीटिंग इट एज एन इनअप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर, ही इज जस्ट हाइडिंग इट आउट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू कि मम्मी के सामने नहीं करना, मैं पीछे से कर सकता हूँ। ठीक है, तो आपको ये चीज उनको समझानी है कि this is an inappropriate behavior and how rules are going to work is it's not an instruction, it's a rule that you have to follow. ठीक है, now it's a very basic difference between both of them कि जो instructions होते हैं ना वो आप बार बार ही देते हैं बच्चों को, but जो एक rule होता है the child is supposed to remember that rule all the time. ठीक है, so make these basic rules at home कि यही है, इसके बाद आई मीन यू हैव टू फॉलो दिस थिंग, अदरवाइज देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ कॉन्सिक्वेंस। एंड जैसा आप मुझे जेम्स वाला एग्जांपल दे रहे थे, यूज दोस थिंग्स एज नेगेटिव रीइंफोर्समेंट दैट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू हिट समबडी यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट इट बिकॉज यू हैव डिस्प्लेड एन इनअप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर। उस टाइम पे इफ ही इज हिटिंग यू बैक और उस टाइम पे if he is creating a scene or he is crying so much, then give him a time out that okay, you need to calm yourself down because I can understand the whole series of events that happens, right? So ultimately the children are going to work very well with the rules and the timeout, so that because उनको ये चीज समझ आती है कि अच्छा this is how I have to work, this is how I have to listen, मम्मा अगर मम्मा ने ये चीज बोली तो वो चीज मुझे सुननी ही पड़ेगी। ठीक है, तो make sure that you will have to particularly work upon the rule formation of the children.
Okay ma'am, thank you ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, and we just have a last question, Snehal, because I told her we have to end the session now. So Snehal, we'll just take your question now.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, Snehal, yeah. So sorry.
Hi, I just had, I need some help with something I'm facing every day with my child. He is about 4.5 years old. And he's just started school, online classes this year. So 1 year I had to homeschool him and he was quite comfortable with that. And now when we are back to online classes, is that he's feeling very, very unsure about himself. So now obviously in class his ma'am wants to interact with him, his teacher wants him to say some rhymes or to talk to her, but he is not, he doesn't want to talk, he feels very shy. Then he says that no, I'm going to say the wrong answer, or ma'am is going to laugh at me if I say something wrong. And although I encourage him and say that, you come on, you know the answer, you just speak, if you say the right answer, your ma'am will say good for you, she'll praise you and all.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he gets most of the times he gets the answer right. But if by chance he gets the answer wrong, which is
Mm-hmm.
not a big issue, it happens, we do get things wrong sometimes,
Yeah.
he feels very bad about it. He starts crying, he starts like, you see, I told you I don't know, I don't want to answer any more questions again.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets very demotivated and it's frustrating. He starts throwing things and shouting and
Yeah.
all sorts of tantrums go on.
Okay. All right. So, as you were telling me, the child is not used to the surroundings that they are in right now. Okay, because you told me that initially when you had started schooling with him, it was a whole different concept because it was a homeschool. And now when you are shifting to online classes, it's like a completely different world for him because there are so many people attached to it, right? There are so many other classmates. There is somebody, there is an authority teacher who's teaching the subjects, and then there you also who's sitting in the classes. So for him it is becoming very difficult to I think be confident in that particular setting. Okay, so all of it just comes out to be a self-esteem issue in the child, where the child is not confident enough to how to work upon this thing. Ki main, like, what if I go wrong? What if my answer is wrong? Right? And the kind of shame associated to it, because we all know that children have these perception that, okay, like it might be very disappointing for me कि अच्छा मैंने गलत आंसर दिया है. ठीक है. So, first thing first, what you'll have to do is that you have to make him understand that it's okay to lose sometimes. Okay? And these particular things only come when you are teaching these things on a daily basis, right? Like, for example, if the child is losing out on a game, you have to make him understand that it's okay that if you're losing a game, right? So sometimes we do come second, sometimes we do come third in the game, and sometimes we come first. So what you can probably do is that you can just enjoy the game and not think about what's going to be the final result out of it, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of times children, I mean, I would not call it hypocrisy because it's like a very negative word, but a lot of times we usually do this thing that, oh no, you have to win, or something like that, oh, you have to come first in some situation. So that somewhere in the mind for the children, it creates an image that, okay, I have to be first in every situation. Okay, so probably those kind of thoughts are being affected, are actually affecting the child's ability to answer in the class. Even if he would know the answer, he would still be apprehensive because he wouldn't want to disappoint either you or be wrong in front of the other classmates, because he would think that, okay, I was wrong, या मेरा insult हो गया बच्चों के साथ. ठीक है, so you just have to make sure in role plays beforehand that अगर आपका आंसर गलत हो जाता है तो आप किस तरीके से रिस्पॉन्ड करोगे, या if mama goes wrong sometimes, जैसे अगर मम्मा कुछ गलत कर लेती है तो मम्मा क्या करती है, मम्मा भी ऐसे रोना शुरू हो जाती है. मम्मा कुछ सिचुएशन के बारे में सोचती है कि उनको कितना मजा आया खेलने में. ठीक है, so those kind of things you have to start teaching him, because currently the kind of situation he's in a very uncomfortable situation, because that has been a huge transition for him. So it is completely fine, just validate whatever he's feeling right now. Okay, as I talked about, once you will start validating, the child will become more comfortable in talking to you about it, so that you can provide him with a solution, so that you can tell him that it's okay. It's not that you have to be the first every time. So a lot of will go into that validation part of it. Once you will start validating, you will be able to make him understand a lot of things. If you're going to tell him that, oh, so तो क्या हो गया, तुम हार गए तो तुम जीतते भी थे. अगर आप वो चीज बोलोगे ना, it's going to create a negative impact on the child, that mama does not understand that what am I feeling right now. So just focus a lot of validation here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. So yes, I think it's the end of it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you all the parents and doctors for joining, and you all have a great evening. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.